What's up, guys? As you read the video, I'm about to tell you guys my story when I was 22 years old, how I had 90K in my bank account on just check-ins, no credit cards. That wasn't even including the credit cards. And I have a picture right here, my receipt. Literally, this is my check-ins account. I had 90K saved up, and I was still depressed. And not only that, I also had my dream car. I put it right here. I bought this Corvette, full paid in cash. Even the guy who I bought it from, I bought it off Facebook Market. The guy was even shocked, because it's very rare somebody pays up front a full amount of a fucking car, and especially not no regular fucking car, not no Honda Civic. This is a 80K car, and I paid it in full, and I was still not happy. And I also, not only that, I was also in shape. I wasn't even fat. I wasn't even overweight, and I was still not happy. And here's another picture of this around this time, and yeah, like I literally still felt empty. And what I realized was that when you're not in your journey, when you're not doing what you're made for, I can't fucking think about it in my head. I'm trying to say the word, but it's not clicking right now. Your journey, pretty much, your purpose. There we go. When you're not aligned with your purpose, when you're not on your purpose, you feel depressed. And those are literally signs from God telling you that you need to do something. You need to change your situation. You need to stop glorifying something because it's not making you happy. And that's what I was doing. I was literally glorifying money. I wasn't spending it. I was just making sure I saved enough money. Just save enough money just to, I don't know why. Like I was saving money to buy a house. But then I realized that wasn't gonna fulfill me either. I didn't see a point of buying a house. I was literally 22 years old. I have no kids, no family. Why would I buy a fucking house with nobody else, but just me? Like I just didn't see making sense. And also I had an apartment like in the suburbs of where I'm from, which I moved to Atlanta when I was 10 years old. I was in Mexico. I was raised in Mexico, and then my parents brought me back. We came back to Atlanta, and we lived with my uncle for like 3 to 4 years, and then we got our own little apartment. I was sharing beds with my dad. My mom was sleeping in the couch. But anyways, that'll be another story that I need to share with you guys, that when I lost my mom when I was 18. And yeah, I'll tell you guys in another video. But yeah, anyways, so yeah, I literally had 90K in my check-ins account. I had available like 20K worth of credit cards that I could still use. On top of that, I had a car paid off, my dream car, and I also was in great shape. I wasn't fat, I wasn't overweight, I had a great physique at the time, and I was still not happy. And the reason I wasn't happy, it was because the job that I had and the fulfilling that I was trying to fill my emptiness with women, money, material shit, and it did not fill that emptiness. And I realized that the emptiness comes from something you try to cover, but you try to cover it with the things that you really want in life, which is a nice car, a good amount of money to live, to not stress, and all of that shit. And I was still not happy. I wasn't grateful. And the emptiness, I realized, is something that you got to fill up with your purpose. And at the time I was working a 9 to 5. I literally, the way I got this much money was because literally for 5 years I worked my ass off, did have no fucking life, no social life. I just went to work, went to the gym, came back home, and just literally played video games and just masturbated for 5 years straight. And also my habits were terrible. That was also another thing that was making me depressed. And yeah, like when you feel empty, you try to you finally accomplish that thing that you thought it was gonna fill that emptiness up, and it doesn't do it. So at this time, the other thing that I was doing, I was getting into like getting my dream girl, and I was just going out and trying to socialize, trying to get women. That was like the thing that I was chasing after I felt empty when I had the money, the car, or whatever. I was like, now, since I'm comfortable in those areas, now I need a girl in my life. So literally, I went out, tried to get my dream girl. Smashed a couple girls, like good looking girls. Like I could even put them up here. Like here's some pictures, and after I smashed, I got my ego up. I hanged out with them. I was still empty, and you don't really know, bro. Like you could tell a guy who's never been through shit, and who's never had money, who's never had the dream girl he wanted, who's never had the fucking car that he wanted. You could tell him everything, but he's not gonna look at it the way you look at it because he hasn't earned it. He hasn't been through it. So he's still gonna try to get it like you. And that's how I was. Like I was listening from other people telling me the same thing, and it didn't click until I got there, and that's where it fucking clicked. And I wish it wasn't like that, because if I would have known, I would have listened to that guy. I would have fucking saved years of fucking chasing this shit that wasn't gonna fulfill me. But that's just my stubborn fucking ego that I have. And yeah, so I was still empty, and the thing that I finally fulfilled was that I surrendered to God. Like literally, that was the emptiness that I had for so many years that I didn't realize, that me trying to be the tough guy, me trying to do everything on my own, me trying to fulfill, just thinking about me and how I can do it and how tough I am, was making me empty. Like, and then you realize why so many rich people take their lives. It's literally the same reason. They have the status, they have the cars, the women, but they're still depressed. They're still taking their life. They're still killing themselves with drugs, with shooting a fucking gun to their head, hanging themselves. And yeah, like, we're not made to glorify material shit. We're not made to glorify money. But the TV, the news, they tell you get women, get money, get rich, buy a house. Everything that the world tells you to do always leaves you empty and depressed. And yeah, so the second I realized, I wish I would have surrendered to God a lot sooner. Everything would have been way better. It would have just been, I would have been fulfilled instead of just chasing the shit, chasing money. And the reason, and also, like I said, at the time, I was working a job that I fucking hate. I was just doing it for the money. I was making about $60 an hour. I was like comfortable. And after I was comfortable, I had the car, the money, the apartment. Now I was looking for women to fulfill that emptiness, which I did. And then it left me back empty. Like literally the shit that I thought it was gonna make me fulfill, bring more joy to my life, literally made me empty again. And like I said, the reason why you feel empty is because you're doing something you're not passionate about. You're doing something, you're chasing, you're glorifying something. And when you read the Bible, everywhere in the Bible says, do not glorify other gods, which he doesn't just mean like don't glorify Buddha, don't glorify whatever. He's meaning like don't glorify material shit, don't glorify money, don't glorify yourself, don't glorify like everything. But the Bible says it, but most people see it as don't glorify Buddha, don't glorify Muhammad, whoever. That's not what it means. It means don't glorify money, don't glorify the devil, don't glorify the material shit. And yeah, that's why most wealthy people feel empty, and that's why a lot of people commit suicide. And I'm not gonna say I was fucking wealthy. I was rich. I was stable. I didn't have to stress about money for years, and about, anything about money. I didn't have to stress for years. Women, none of that shit, because I had it. But I still felt empty. And now that I'm more now that I have less money, but I'm more aligned with my purpose, that I know what I got to do to serve, that I know I have to serve others in the world. I feel more aligned. I don't really care about money anymore. I just feel, I just want to be happy. And if you're looking for happiness, you're never going to be happy. There's always ups and downs. So you're going to be happy one day, the next day is. So that's why I'm closer to God than I ever was, just because I know I cannot do nothing without him. And he is the leader, he is the guide, and he gives us the Bible to literally follow. That the Bible is literally the manual for human beings. And if you follow everything in the Bible, your life is just gonna be more fulfilled, more joy, more everything. And yeah, like myself, including like myself, I try to like live like Jesus, and it's impossible. Like, try to live without lust, try to live without temptations is fucking impossible. We're gonna fall for it no matter what. And that's why we gotta surrender to God and follow him. And that's what's gonna bring us joy. That's what's gonna fulfill us, knowing that he's there for us. He's always there. He's always the man of his words, but is always on his timing, not your timing, not my timing, not a human being's timing. His timing is different from our timing. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you learned my lesson and don't do what I did. And yeah, and like I said, I'll keep, like, my whole YouTube page. It's just about me. No filter. Everything is for me. So I'll see you guys next time.